family, today is the super sad story of AnythingAlexia. What, baby Nuggy? Not now.
That's not the sad story of you. It's the sad story of Yarnaby from Poppy Playtime 4. Even though since your hair's so messy, you and him look like you got the same hair.
Baby Nuggy? That just made me more sad. Family, smash like on today's video to make me and Yarnaby not cry anymore. 'Cause maybe our little baby Nuggy needs a little bit of time on the floor.
Yarnaby was not always a monster. This is his sad origin story.
Ooh. Smash like if you like his rainbow hair.
Quinn Navidson was an orphan, a quiet kid
With hair that loud, but okay.
in play care, who kept his true abilities hidden. He was a nice kid with a lot of big dreams. He enjoyed coloring. He even colored his hair in a rainbow of colors, making the other kids laugh at him. However, he did not know what was coming.
Are you sure the other kids were laughing at you? They were probably just crying because they thought your head was a big bowl of Skittles. And then when they went to eat it, they got a big mouthful of hairball instead. Meow meow.
Dr. Harley Sawyer noticed something different about him.
By the way, family, all of the videos in today's episode is from a channel called The Film Bee. All links will be in the description.
After pushing Quinn to try his best in tests, Sawyer discovered Quinn's hidden talent. Impressed, he chose Quinn for a special experiment.
His hair got even brighter.
Experiment 1166, which transformed him into Yarnaby, a lion-like creature made of colorful yarn, with sharp claws and a forced, eerie grin.
Wait, he already transformed?
Yarnaby was isolated, allowed to see only Dr. Sawyer, becoming attached to him like family, enjoying fond memories together.
Are you sure you're attached? Or is it just your yarn that got stuck in his jacket? Because then I think the word you're looking for is tangled.
But one day, Sawyer suddenly disappeared.
Not on his birthday.
Was left broken without Sawyer. He fell silent, lost, and unresponsive.
Oh.
Declared a failure, Yarnaby became a forgotten experiment, stuck between the memories of a boy he once was and the monster he'd become.
No. Oh my chicken nugget, why they gotta jump scare us like that? You know what, Yarnaby, I used to be sad because you lost Harley Sawyer, but now I'm thinking the only place he actually got lost was inside of your giant mouth. Because I think you ate him. And now, family, in today's video, we are not only looking at Yarnaby's sad origin story, but coming up right now, we have the sad origin story of Pianosaurus. And then after that, the sad origin story of Doey the Doughman too. One of these stories is going to be the most sad out of all three. So make sure you watch every single video so you can vote for the saddest one at the end.
Pianosaurus was not always like this.
But he's so cute like that.
His sad origin story in the forgotten halls of Playtime Company among the rusted machines and the echoes of a lost era. A creature once dreamed of bringing joy, a creature unlike any other, a toy with the soul of music, trapped inside the body of a beast. His name was Pianosaurus. But like so many others in this cursed factory, his dream turned into a nightmare. His music, once meant to inspire, became a haunting melody, and his existence was reduced to nothing more then another failed experiment.
Pianosaurus, it's not a wrong experiment. You just played the wrong piano key. That's why it sounds terrible, bro.
It all began in 1990. Playtime Company was at the height of its power, always searching for the next big idea, the next revolutionary toy. That's when the Bigger Bodies Initiative was born, a project that sought to turn simple toys into something more, something alive. Pianosaurus, a cheerful dinosaur with a piano for a mouth, was chosen to undergo the transformation, a dream. Some might say, to bring music to life. In the most literal sense, the transformation was nothing like what the scientists had imagined. Pianosaurus, once a simple, cheerful toy, was strapped down onto a cold metal table, his colorful exterior reflecting the harsh glow of the overhead lights. Machines hummed. Wires tangled around his body, and unseen hands worked tirelessly to reshape him. His small frame was stretched, reinforced with steel and artificial muscle, his circuits rewritten to sustain a larger, more powerful form.
More powerful form. Well, he did go from plastic dinosaur to giant real-life monster in about 1 to 4 seconds. So yeah, I'd say that that's an upgrade.
Something was wrong.
Oh.
When they powered him on, expecting a playful, obedient creation, what they got was emptiness. His keys, once capable of cheerful melodies, let out only distorted, broken notes. His body moved, but his mind was hollow, silent, absent.
Oh, that one's gotta hurt. That's how I feel after I finish a whole pepperoni pizza by myself. Except not only is my mind hollow, silent, and absent, unlike Pianosaurus, my body definitely cannot move. I just lay down like a lump on a log.
He did not react, did not play, did not become what they had hoped.
That's
He
sad.
was a shell. No joy.
No joy?
Purpose, just another failed experiment.
Oh.
And as the scientists scribbled down their notes, marking him as defective, Pianosaurus simply stood there, waiting. The playful spark he once had was gone. The music that once danced from his keys became distorted, broken. He couldn't even play in tune. Instead of a joyful companion, they had created a lifeless shell. One that could move.
Lifeless shell. That's what you call a piece of shrimp after you bite that thing off of its tail. Giant dinosaur who can still move, talk, and play. I don't think that's the same.
But not truly live. Dr. Harley Sawyer, one of the minds behind the project, was disappointed. He watched as Pianosaurus stumbled, his notes clashing awkwardly, his presence empty. He wasn't a success. He wasn't even close. A failure. And failures had no place in Playtime Company.
Oh.
He was cast aside, reassigned to testing. A fate worse than destruction. In the factory's depths, he became just another forgotten experiment, waiting in the dark for a purpose that would never come. The factory stood in silence, frozen in time. Dust hung thick in the air, swirling in the dim glow of emergency lights that flickered weakly, struggling to stay alive.
Who's
Rusted
there?
machines sat motionless, their once thriving assembly lines long abandoned. Playtime Company, once a kingdom of joy and laughter, had become a graveyard of forgotten experiments.
Whoa, look at all the
A sound,
toys.
a faint click as the heavy metal doors creaked open. Footsteps echoed through the halls, careful, hesitant. The player had arrived.
Who's here? Player! Oh no, you should not be here.
They moved cautiously through the ruins, past broken toys and shattered glass. Faded posters that still clung to the walls, promising a happiness that no longer existed. The air was heavy with something unnatural, an eerie stillness that made the place feel alive in the worst way.
In the worst way?
Then, in the distance, a shape stirred in the darkness. Pianosaurus. For years, he had been locked away, abandoned like so many before him. His once bright colors had faded under layers of dust. His keys, once meant to bring music and joy, now sat cracked and broken. He moved sluggishly, as if waking from a long sleep. His glowing red eyes flickered as he turned his head toward the player.
What's gonna happen?
Was he reaching out for help? Did he even recognize what he was anymore?
Oh, that's so sad.
The player stood frozen, watching as Pianosaurus took a slow, unsteady step.
Wait a second, imagine your player walking into Playtime Co. and the first thing you see is this? I'd be screaming.
The sound of his movement was unnatural. Mechanical parts grinding against each other, joints stiff from years of neglect. His piano mouth opened slightly, letting out a distorted, broken note. It was out of tune, mismatched, a sound that had once been music, but now felt like a cry for help. Then the atmosphere changed. A low, guttural growl filled the air. Something else was there, something hungry. Doey the Doughman,
No!
emerging from the shadows.
Doey! What are you doing here?
His hulking form twitching with violent energy.
No, seriously, bro, what are you doing here? Because if you're gonna come in with that type of vibe, I don't think we want you. No offense.
The air grew thick with tension. Pianosaurus barely had time to react before the attack came. Metal met flesh with a sickening crash. Pianosaurus was lifted off the ground, slammed against the rusted walls. His piano keys jangled with every impact.
No!
Their sounds warped and agonizing. Like a twisted symphony of destruction, again and again. Doey threw him down, crushing what little remained of the experiment, once meant to bring happiness. The player could only watch. The struggle was over in seconds. Pianosaurus's body twitched one last time before going still. A single final note escaped from his broken keys. Distorted, lifeless. Then, silence. The music had ended.
No, Pianosaurus. When your body goes oof, so does the music inside you. This is so sad, and if we weren't about to watch Doey the Doughman's sad origin story, I would say we have to get revenge on Mr. Blueberry Man. Fine, I guess let's watch his origin story instead. Mad at you, Doey.
Doey was not always like this.
Karma? I hope so.
Sad origin story.
I don't like
Deep
sadness.
inside the crumbling walls of Playtime Company, where the air was thick with dust
Probably from Doey's stinky breath. Oops, sorry. Did I say that?
and the silence, carried the echoes of long-forgotten laughter. A secret lay buried, a creation unlike any other, a toy. that
A
was
mean
once
toy.
human.
It was mean to
This is the
Pianosaurus.
story of Doey the Doughman. It began with something innocent, something meant to bring joy. In the late 1950s, Playtime Co. introduced Doey Dough, a soft, moldable clay that allowed children to shape their imaginations into reality. It was an instant hit, Parents loved its simplicity, and children spent hours crafting figures, creatures, and dreamlike worlds. To make the brand even more exciting, the company gave the product a face, a mascot named Doey the Doughman, a cheerful, round figure made entirely of dough, with a big, friendly smile and stubby little arms. He became a symbol of creativity and happiness, his image stamped on every can of Doey dough.
Oh, look at all the different colors. Dibs on blue.
Doey dough. His commercials filled with catchy jingles and laughing children. But joy would not last. Decades passed, and Playtime Co. grew more ambitious,
Baba
more
Chops.
desperate to push the limits of what toys could be. By the 1980s, their research had taken a darker turn. The Bigger Bodies Initiative was their most daring project yet. One designed to bring life to toys in ways no one had ever imagined. They were no longer just making playthings. They were trying to create something real, something alive.
Like all the monsters they transformed from toys? I forgot how evil Playtime Co. is.
Doey the Doughman was selected as the perfect candidate. A flexible body, endlessly moldable, just like the clay children loved. But a toy without a mind was useless. Playtime Co. needed something more. Someone more. 3 children were chosen. 3 innocent lives. Stolen for the sake of an experiment. Jack Ayers was the first. A curious, adventurous boy who had come to the factory on a school trip, marveling at the machines that churned out toys by the thousands. He had been laughing one moment, pointing at a vat of warm, bubbling dough, and in the next, he was falling. His scream barely had time to escape his throat before the thick, suffocating mass swallowed him whole. No one saw, no one noticed. By the time the tour moved on, Jack Ayers no longer existed. Kevin Barnes was different. A child filled with frustration and anger, known for his short temper. And fights on the playground. Playtime Co. had their own ways of choosing candidates, and Kevin's aggression made him an interesting subject. They took him, promising something special, something that would make him stronger than anyone. He didn't resist. He believed them. Then there was Matthew Hallard. Unlike the others, Matthew had always been kind, gentle. He helped younger kids at school, protected his little sister from bullies, and dreamed of one day becoming a firefighter. He wasn't chosen because he was angry, or because he had fallen victim to the factory's traps. He was taken because they needed balance.
Balance?
Someone to keep the others in check.
What the chicken nugget? This dude got sucked into it because of balance? Is the dude good on a balance beam? That ain't fair.
The 3 were fused together, their bodies gone, their minds forced into something new when the experiment was complete. What emerged was not Jack, nor Kevin, nor Matthew. It was all of them, and none of them. Doey the Doughman was alive. His body was strange, unlike any other experiment before him. Soft and malleable, able to stretch, reshape, and reform at will. His colors constantly shifted, blending, twisting.
Oh, look at the transformation!
His features were clear. A mouth that spoke, eyes that watched. Other times, they melted away, his form turning into something unrecognizable.
Wait, why is it sounding
But
evil?
the most terrifying thing about him wasn't his body, it was his mind. 3 voices spoke at once.
What?
Jack, the lost child, clung to his innocence, confused and scared. Matthew, the protector, tried to maintain control, to be the voice of reason. And Kevin burned with rage. Their thoughts collided, warred with one another. At times, one would surface more than the others, their personality taking control. Other times, they would blend together, becoming something entirely new.
So it's like he's 3 different humans. Or 3 different monsters. That's even worse.
Despite the turmoil within him, Doey tried to be more than just an experiment. He saw what Playtime Company had done, what they had created, then abandoned. He saw others like him, toys that had been twisted into something unnatural, left to fend for themselves in the darkness of the factory. He refused to let it continue. Deep within the abandoned corridors, Doey built the safe haven, a hidden refuge for the lost. Here, the rejected toys could find shelter, away from the grasp of the prototype, the monstrous entity that roamed the factory, consuming everything in its path.
Who just sunk in
Doey
that
became
juice?
their leader, their protector. He gave them hope when there was none. For a time, it worked. But Playtime Co.'s creations were never meant to last.
Oh, creepy
One by
eyes.
one, those under Doey's protection vanished. Some were taken, dragged away into the shadows.
So I guess that means Doey wasn't really protecting them then, was it? They just so easily got stolen? What?
Others fell in battle, fighting against forces greater than they could ever understand.
Oh, so many
Safe
teddy
haven.
bears.
Once a symbol
And
of hope
dinosaurs.
became a graveyard. And then, something inside Doey snapped. Kevin's rage, which had always been buried beneath Matthew's reason and Jack's innocence, finally broke free. The anger, the hatred, the pain, it became too much. Doey was no longer a protector. He became something else, something monstrous.
Uh-oh.
His body twisted, stretched beyond control. His dough-like flesh, once soft and welcoming, became jagged, erratic.
Erratic?
He lashed out at
That means he's going
everything.
crazy.
Friend, foe, it didn't matter. The safe haven fell, not from an outside force,
Look at those
but
teeth.
from Doey himself.
They're so sharp.
What was left of Jack and Matthew screamed inside him, trapped in a mind they could no longer control.
What?
Doey became a nightmare. His final battle was not against an enemy, but against himself.
Uh-oh.
In the deepest part of the factory, beneath the ruins of what had once been a place of safety, he was confronted. Liquid nitrogen, colder than anything he had ever felt, tore through his body. Machinery, heavy and unrelenting, brought him to his knees. His form cracked, hardened, the endless shifting of his body, finally slowing. And then, for the first time, in what felt like forever, he was still. The rage faded, the chaos quieted. Jack, Matthew, Kevin, all of them were there again, together, in one final moment of clarity. With his last breath, Doey whispered something no one would hear. A final apology, a plea for forgiveness that would never come. Now, deep within the ruins of Playtime Co., there are whispers. Some say the shadows move when no one is looking, that the air sometimes smells faintly of clay, that in the silence of the factory, if you listen closely, you can hear a voice, soft, broken, asking to be set free.
Oh, Doey! What happened to you? Family, comment down below what you think really happened to Doey the Doughman. And smash like on today's video to make sure you never get stuck in Playtime Co. yourself. Subscribe to this channel to be a part of the family before we hit 10 million subscribers. Go get Baby Nuggy, Saucy Nuggy, and Chili Nuggy at shopalexia.com. Me and all the Nuggy Land characters love you so much, and we'll see you all in tomorrow's video.